And you're good to go.
Okay. All right. So thank you all for showing up. For any, I think almost everybody here, with the exception of Arthur, I know. So I'm going to just review Cognomovement very quickly for you. So Cognomovement is fairly simple. It is a very simple exercise where you catch a ball on the left and right side of your body, and you say the color you see while you're focused on a particular issue. Now, this issue could be, for example, that you're stressed out about work, or maybe there's an athletic performance you want to bench press more, or run faster, whatever might be the case. But it's utilized not only for athletic performance, but stress reduction. And that takes the form of the underlying issue, dealing with that, which would be, say, a loss of a love would be a great example. Or that, like we talked about before, the cravings, which is causing weight gain, and that ends up cascading in different aspects of life and causing stress. So that's basically what it is. The exercise is very, very simple. Catch. You can catch it randomly on the left and right side of the body with two hands, and that's how it works. So the Cognomovement we have a few different balls. This is the soccer ball variety. In the United States, we have the massive variety here. And then we also have in Europe and Australia and Canada, there's the smaller variety. It all works the same though. So the other thing that I'm so excited to announce today is that we have our new practitioners. Hi, Brenda. Or it looks Benda. Hi, Benda. I see that you're with us. So I'm very excited to announce our new practitioners. Casey is a level 1 practitioner, and Mina and Heather. So I think Mina and Heather are in, Heather's in New York, Mina's in Chicago, and also Casey is in the Chicago area as well. Now, I don't want to leave you out, Benda. Benda, could you unmute yourself for a second? I just want to find out where you're at, so if I need to repeat kind of the first portion of telling you a little bit about Cognomovement. So I just wanted, if you could just unmute yourself for a second here, and I'll Hi, Benda.
Hold on, honey.
Mommy's coming. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Thanks for joining. So just so I make sure that I answer questions and kind of meet you with where you're at. Do you already have a Cognomovement ball, or are you just looking at it? Okay, well, it looks like it locked up.
Yeah, I think Arthur says too that he doesn't have a mic right now, so I'll be his voice through the chat, if that's okay. So Arthur, if you're hearing me in the chat, please type if you have a question, and we'll make sure you're able to answer.
Okay. Okay, I think Benda went away.
Okay.
No, she's here. It's just that I couldn't hear her. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to tell a couple stories of some of the great things that happened during the Cognomovement. The certifying the 9 or so practitioners that we now have for Cognomovement. we ended up getting people with their, I think, personal best golf game. We ended up with a professional marksman, tournament shooter, had also done their personal best, reduced their times into half, was what I understood, and which is for their competitions is very significant. And not only that, but there was also one of my favorite stories is Heather. I think it was yours with the smoking. Do you can you unmute yourself and maybe you could tell about the smoking situation that you did?
I don't think that was me.
That was Robin.
Oh, it was Robin. Okay. All right. So there was another practitioner who's not on the phone today. She's out in New York. Heather, you're from, refresh my memory again?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay. Heather's in South Carolina.
East Coast, but a little south.
Okay. All right. So there was a smoker who had been smoking for 5 years, and on a level of craving, it was a 10. And one of our practitioners took this on and did four 3-minute sessions. At one 15-minute session when she started, and then she started doing shorter sessions. So she did 1 15-minute and then 4 3-minute sessions. And it went from a 10 down to a 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. And boom, it was gone. Now this particular person, it went to a 0, and they haven't had a cigarette since. And the beautiful thing is that just like everything else with Cognomovement, their comment was it's completely different for them because they're no longer fighting it. It's just they just have zero desire. So that is just really awesome. It's just removing the desire. I think that is really big. And I want to encourage all of the practitioners out there to, that is probably the number 1 or number 2 market. So smoking and weight situations are for your practitioners. That is a great thing to help with. And it's one of the things that people really, in hypnosis, those are the 2 main markets. So not that this is not hypnosis, nothing like it, but I know those to be the 2 markets where people really are looking for help. So if you find people with that, we're happy to promote it. And let's see, other very interesting things is that for those of you who already have your Cognomovement, on the website, we have a 15-minute timer. Now, the 15-minute timer is when we first started doing the work, we just went straight through for 15 minutes. And we're discovering something here, and that is that you can break it up into like 3-minute segments. Just do 3 minutes and then 3 minutes and 3 minutes. And you may end up getting the exact same effect that we were getting with a full-on 15-minute session. So try it out. Put yourself through maybe 3 minutes or so, and then see where you're at on a level of 1 to 10, and then do it again and again and again, that sort of thing. This really seems to be working now. We're also looking at ways to even speed it up further, all new kind of ridiculous levels. So I'll have more information on that as things progress. But we've got some new techniques in the works that could possibly reduce the entire thing to within 2 minutes or so. We're for everybody that is not a practitioner, we are having a new class for practitioner level ones. The dates are going to be July 14th. It'll be for 3 weekends, 2 hours apiece. And you're going to, with the package of doing this, you get 10 Cognomovement balls. Now these Cognomovement balls on Amazon are $40 with the website. So it pays for the entire course. If you not only, obviously, you get to charge for actually doing the Cognomovement, but you can also sell the ball to your customers as well. So those are included with the price of admission there to your level 1 certification. During the level 1 certification, you learn all kinds of things that are really only for practitioners, which make them kind of boost their abilities to a whole new level, not only in terms of speed, but as far as additional type of tools that can unlock the customer. We had, let's see here, we've had also some interesting things that have happened that I found out about through our practitioners. And weight loss, that once these cravings have gone away with people and their food, that they end up losing weight. And they're not even trying to lose weight. It's because they don't crave those foods anymore that they had before, like fatty or sugar-filled foods, that they are finding that the weight's just dropping off. And I think that there's probably a tie-in with that, with the emotional aspect. Whatever that was kind of missing for them is kind of resolved. And we're finding that has been quite a big deal. Let's see here. So one of the other, and that I'm going to open this up to questions and also to any stories that anybody has in Cognomovement stories. But I want to make a point that if you are a doctor or a therapist that specifically works with neuropathy, customers that you have that have neuropathy, we have a scholarship for you to get your level 1 certification. And the other one is for any teachers or therapists that work with children with autism. Those are 2 things that we're offering a scholarship to anybody who's working in those fields to kind of further get data on what's actually happening with Cognomovement in those particular situations. We have an upcoming class that's going to be in person. Again, it's the end of September. If you've already taken one of my courses, it's half off for you. So to come to San Diego and take the live in-person course. So that's if you let me go, I'll rattle on forever. So I want to open it up now and hear anybody's Cognomovement stories, plus anything that somebody's finding that is working or not working, so I can help you out. So I'll just start at the beginning here, and I believe Elizabeth. Hi.
Hi.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Great.
I I just ordered. I saw you still had the really large Cogno balls, those ones, the extra large beach ball,
Yes.
and decided that I wanted one of those, so I just ordered another one.
Awesome.
But yeah, and I love it because it's so big. It's like it's more playful for me. But gosh, there's just been so many things going on. Just my level of energy is high, and just enjoying every day, even though I'm retired. I'm starting to think about, do I really want to get into something again? And I've actually I'm thinking about this again, actually becoming a practitioner, because it's done so much for me personally. I just see this, it's going to explode at some point. And I like the idea of being on the leading edge in that, this all started. And kudos to you for thinking this and bringing it into reality. And I'm not going to go on and on and on and on about it. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, thank you so much. It would be an honor to have you as a practitioner. There's no one in the Colorado area as well. So it would be great to have you out there and get you on the website and get promoting you over there.
Yeah.
And if you on the large ball. So
yeah,
on this large ball, one of the things I found is that the darn thing is super fast. It looks like it would be slower, but if you stand towards the wall and utilize the large one, it is so fast. So I'll show you. I don't know if you can see this, but
wow.
It's really very, very fast.
Yeah.
So anyway, and speed has something to do with the ability to process. So pushing that speed envelope.
Yeah. I just blew mine up this morning. I just got it. It came in over the weekend. So it's just yeah. And I live in a community with a bunch of senior people, and we actually have a physical therapy group that's here during the week. And they use balls for other things. And I was going to talk to some of them about possibly introducing the ball, let them kind of see what it's about and see if they'd be interested in including this in some of their therapy and see if there's a difference. Well, and I'm sure there will be, but, that they can actually start to see the difference and track it as well. So it's very exciting.
That is awesome. A lot of seniors suffer with neuropathy, and
yes,
we are looking for data on neuropathy. So
yes,
if they can try it out for that, or you probably know people in your community and they're suffering with it, nobody knows about it, right? They're just walking around, so
yeah,
does anything?
Yeah, they're like sliding along, and they don't have a lot of feeling, and they don't know what to do. And, meds are, in my opinion, obviously, pills are not the answer. And I think I know I talked to this lady who used to be a nurse, and she has it, and her son has it. And I know it's just a matter of it. And I've got a couple of balls from when I took the class back in October, back in San Diego. I bought some extra balls, and I think I said, if I give you a ball, will you just start seeing if it works? I mean, it's just something. I said, I know what it works for me, but I said, if you would be willing to do this, I said, and I think it's just her mental, with her background in nursing, that it's like a given that it's going to go in a direction it doesn't have to go in. And so I'll keep you up to date on that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
You're welcome. Woohoo!
Yeah. Okay. And Heather. Hi, Heather.
I have to be honest, Bill, I was telling Liz before this started, I am slow at integrating. And so I honestly, since the class ended, I probably have more questions than I have stuff to share at this point. I told myself I want to go back and watch all the videos because I'm like, what did I miss that my questions could be answered?
Well, go ahead and, because if you've got a question, other people have a question. So go ahead and just ask your questions.
I am kind of curious, and the other thing that I had mentioned to Liz was that I kind of look at energy work like everything, all the modalities fit into the totality of energy work. And one of the things that seems to come up in energy work a lot is gratitude. And I'm curious to know, does gratitude ever play a role when you're working with somebody and they're just like, they don't overcome the negative attitude and they're just like, this isn't going to happen, or there's some improvement, but it's not what they were looking for. So it wasn't like, have you seen, or do you have any information on gratitude role it plays?
Okay, so have you seen my interview on Gaia about water and time and gratitude and these sorts of things?
I know that's where I saw you originally was on Gaia, but I'm not remembering that. Do you have more than one, or did I?
Yeah, there's 3 interviews in there on Gaia. You can just type in my name and there 3 of them will pop up.
I'll go back and watch then, because I know that's where I first heard about you, and so I don't.
Okay. So kind of a multi-part question, right? Gratitude gratitude definitely has everything to do with everything. It's the ultimate state to be in of receivership. So it jumps you into kind of a whole new frame of mind, and when you take this to its extreme, the rules that used to apply no longer apply. It really does change things. There's a number of talk on dimensions that I've done. You can go to YouTube and just type in, Bill Mckenna dimensions, and I talked a little bit about. I also talked about those on Gaia, but to specifically on Cognomovement, when a person is like stuck, they get stuck at a certain level. What I recommend kind of moving techniques, like you've learned about Cogno Swipe.
Yeah.
So you change it up from Cognomovement to the Cogno Swipe, and you have them also do the figure eights. So that is one way to bust them through the blockage. There is a few other ways to bust them through a block. And this one is kind of very interesting, is that when they reach a certain point, let's say you get them to a level, they were at a 10 and you got them down to a 6, let's say, right? And there's just no way, you can't get them below a 6. One of the things that I found success with is to have them close their eyes and say, okay, you're upset about this person and these people or this thing, right? And what you do is you say, okay, I want you to kind of distill it into a word: betrayal, resentment, whatever it might be. And you basically, I ask them, allow the face of everyone who did this type of thing to you in your life to appear like a machine gun. Everybody who's done it to you. And typically, you know, a bunch will show up and I'm like, okay, there's been more than one, yes? And it's always yes. And then I have them to simply, okay, now, without any thought whatsoever, allow the face of everyone that felt that way about you. Now, when they show up, you know, you're going to say, well, it was justified. They had it coming. We had a little misunderstanding, whatever. But it'll feel like a grain of sand that when you did it to somebody else in a mountain when it was done to you. So once they've experienced that, they saw everybody's face and they understand that these things are related, and then they're explaining to them that if you change your mind, if you don't want this to happen anymore, stop doing it. Don't do it to anybody, anytime, anywhere, anymore, for any reason, and poof, the thing goes away. I mean, you get on the ball and it'll be like within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it's over. It's gone. Even if that, it'll, and you know you have them when they start laughing, because once they've really got it, they'll start laughing most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time. If that makes sense to you.
I think so. I just want to state back. So they go into the emotion first as the victim, and then they go into the emotion as the perpetrator. And from that perspective, do Cognomovement, and they usually can experience a shift at that point.
Yes. Yeah. And, you know, all I have to do is just talk to them, and then I do the cleanup with Cognomovement. You know, they don't even have to go into Cognomovement. Just talk to them for a few minutes and have them go through that exercise where they see everybody's face.
And so if somebody's doing something unrelated to like gratitude, or even if it is like an athletic thing or a weight loss thing, and they're like, well, I stopped eating this, but whatever, they can't be excited about the progress that they're making. As long as you keep pushing, and I think that was one of my other last notes, one of the very last notes that I made was like, just keep pushing through and it will shift. So even if they aren't feeling it at that moment, as long as they keep working, that's part of the ultimate shift that comes, is the gratitude will kind of bubble surface.
Eventually it will. If you take this as far as it'll go, it'll happen.
Okay.
It just, some people take longer than others. I would also say, here's one of the other lessons that is this evolve. Everything at Cognomovement is evolving, right? And all of you are playing a role in it. And that is the amount of time. So instead of going 15 minutes straight through, start doing it for the 3-minute sessions. And we're, like I mentioned earlier, we're working on some other things that are going to speed it up dramatically. So I'm not done with that one. I can't release it yet. Liz will hang me if I do, but I'm so excited about it because we're talking about reducing it to like 2 minutes or 3 minutes total. So anyway, we'll have more for you shortly.
Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And when a person, you process the issue and then you have them, it's completely gone, and then you have them go into a state of gratitude and do Cognomovement, I've literally seen people convulsing in ecstasy when doing Cognomovement and being in a state of gratitude. It was fairly amazing.
But you said you have to do the cleanup first, right?
Yeah, you got to clean things up first. It's not really available at that ecstasy level until you clean them up.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. And Heather, any other questions?
Well, I have another one, but I think you probably addressed it in the eating and smoking class. So I'm actually going to go back and look at the class first so I don't take up people's time.
Okay, so eating and smoking, just as a refresher for everybody, the way it works is you have them to imagine enjoying the product, whatever that product is, chocolate, Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A, you name it, and just have them enjoy it and do Cognomovement, and eventually it clears. The smoking one that I just referred to, I think Robin had done it in New York, a wonderful practitioner. She said it started with the person in their head, and then it moved down to their solar plexus, and it felt like acid or something like that. They said, and then eventually it just dissipated and left.
Well,
So
my question around it is, like, I know smoking has a physical addiction to it, and if a person has a specific food craving, that there is an element of whatever addiction or whatever to that food that they're feeding through the craving. But, and I'm giving myself up here. I'm asking this question for me. I don't really feel like I have a particular craving, like for sweets, or and I'll eat sugar, but I limit my sugar, and I think, relatively speaking, I have a pretty good diet, and I feel like where I've gained weight is usually from related to an emotional state. But even though I can't identify the specific state that I'm in, but I'm putting on weight, and it's like, how do you address it when you don't have like a trigger to?
Okay. So you need to go. Thank you for the question. So this is what we call emotional eating, right? And I root, now, not always, but I root it in a feeling of being unfulfilled. And if you look at the times that you emotionally eat, and emotional eating can take the form of eating too much, or going and grabbing the Ben and Jerry's for no good reason, or kind of unconsciously eating. I know what's going to make me feel better, this or that, or maybe nothing in specific, but you stuff in your face with it or whatever. So is to focus on the feeling of being unfulfilled. Or it could be, for some people, some of us at work and that sort of thing, we're there and we're taking on a lot of the energies of the people around us, and we just need some relief when we get home, that sort of thing. So it's a method to escape. So processing those feelings, being in when the feeling occurs, like you just kind of like a malaise of just not feeling good. Yeah. Allow yourself that feeling of not feeling good and do the Cognomovement, but stay in that feeling of not feeling good, and it's stuck somewhere in one of the chakras, and it'll release.
Okay, thank you very much.
Am I making sense? Did I hit it there or not?
Absolutely making sense, and I think that's so interesting that you say it's unfulfilled, because the image I get is it's like it's unfulfilled, so you're filling it with something, some kind of food.
Yeah. So give it a go and just feel that and go bang it out and let me know how it goes.
I absolutely will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Heather and Bill, this is Liz. I want to just jump in for a second. So anybody who was in the practitioner course or is considering the practitioner course, Heather, this will also help you. There are PDFs in the course in this segment on weight loss and cravings, where there's a protocol. And if you follow the steps, there's one for the cravings. And if you're got a person who the reason they're gaining weight is cravings, knock that one out and you're good to go. But if it's a little deeper, like you're asking, you actually have a protocol to walk through in your PDFs in your in the course packets. So that's right there for you to follow if you need it. So I just want to add that. And one more thing personally on that, Heather, I share that with you too. What I found is late in the afternoon, I get tired. My energy's low. And that's when I want to eat something like some chocolate or whatever. I grab the ball and do 3 minutes on the wall. It's like having a cup of coffee, and I completely forgot that I was ever hungry in the first place. I don't think I was. I think I just needed some energy, and the ball creates that energy that I need for the afternoon and evening with no need to have food. So hopefully that helps.
It does. Thank you. I'll try that out too. Thank you so much, Liz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's see here. Let's see. I guess Arthur we can't hear Arthur, but David. Hi, David. Hi, David. Can I answer any questions for you, or you want to share any experiences? I can hear you shuffling around, but I can't see you or I don't hear your voice. David? Okay, so I can't, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, David. If you, okay, I guess I'll go back to mute. If you do have something, please hit it in the chat room and just send your message that way, and I will address it.
Bill, Arthur has a question. He's asking, tell me some advantages of the different styles of the balls.
Oh, so very good question. So the first thing is, I don't know, Arthur, you probably see these. If you've got a dog, get the soccer ball. We've gotten people who've gotten the beach ball variety, and the dogs, I mean, it's going to last about 10 seconds, and the dog gets excited and pops. So the first thing is that this is probably the most popular one. It's pretty robust. But if you live in a condo or something like that, this is going to make a lot of noise. If you're doing it alone, pounding it against the wall, you could have problems with your neighbors. This one makes hardly any noise, and it's very fast. So, and it's also, you can deflate it. They both work the same, but those are kind of the so far kind of what all the customers are saying.
Hey, Bill, there's one more thing with that too. The weight of the balls makes a big difference for the client. Yeah, so tell me about that a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so the soccer ball weighs a lot more than the beach ball variety. It's very, very light, and it's very easy to catch the beach ball because it's so massive. If you have a child as well, you can actually roll the big ball to them on the left side and the right side, and that seems to work. Which leads me to another amazing story that came out of the Cognomovement. I'm not sure which one of the practitioners it was. Maybe Liz, you can help tell who the practitioner was and where they were. But they were able to do Cognomovement with a child who really would not talk. It just wouldn't really use their words, but they did Cognomovement with them, and all of a sudden they started talking. So they got that left-right brain firing, and now they're talking. So I thought that was really cool that left-right brain activation thing showing up.
Bill, I think that was Marina. Marina's with us, by the way. I've got Marina on the brain, so we have to talk to Marina. But I think that was Amanda. I don't know if anyone else remembers, but I think it was Amanda. And the really cool thing about that story was also that the child didn't really respond to their name being called or a command being called. And they yelled to him from another room, asked him what he was doing, and he answered for the first time ever. So that was incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, and let's see here. Arthur, any more questions? Oh, okay. All right. And let's see here. Marina, I'll unmute you here.
Hi,
Hey,
long time no see.
yeah, good to hear your voice.
I think the last one, I don't know if Liz told you or not, we've been trying to do 3-minute things.
Okay.
I had a client who her issue was that she felt disconnected from her father, and just in general disconnected. She was very concerned about her young children not being connected to her father, and her not being connected to him because he lives in Bahamas or someplace like that. And so we started doing the ball, and I stopped in 3 minutes. So we did it, I think, maybe three-minute sections. And by the end of the third, she realized that it was not her issue, that it was her father who felt disconnected from his father. So she was just taking it on, and it was such a relief for her. It was just gone in 9 minutes.
Phew, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That'd been going on, I assume, for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
pretty amazing.
Well, that's got to affect her life. So that is really the whole point of Cognomovement, and that is, having compassion for others. In that's when they feel better, they treat others better, and their life gets better.
Yep.
So it's you did a great service. It's wonderful.
Hey, Bill, Marina has some of the very best craving stories. So I don't know if you can coax her to tell some of those.
Yeah, do tell.
Well, all of them, but I think the first one was the white wine. So it's actually a colleague of mine who would drink a glass of white wine every time she came home from work. It was just kind of like a ritual for her, and she didn't want to do it anymore. She wanted to continue drinking if she went out, like red wine, beer, whatever, but she just did not want to do this white wine thing. And at the time, we were still doing 15 minutes. So she doesn't. That's been months and months ago. So she does not drink white wine anymore. So that was a good one. Yeah. Another one, this guy, another colleague of mine, who just every time he sees me, he said, "I hate you," because now he cannot eat snacks. So his thing was anything crunchy. And so I said, "Look, we can't do everything crunchy. You got to pick one." So it took a while for him to decide that he was going to focus on graham crackers. So we did the 15 minutes. And his craving was getting less and less and less. And he actually showed me prior to doing this, like he opened the bag and he said, "See, I opened the bag. It's going to be gone by the end of the evening." So he does not eat snacks anymore. And that was also, I would say, maybe like 3 months ago.
I wonder if he's lost weight.
Actually, I don't think so. I saw him. No, but it was interesting with him because he's very traditional psychotherapist, so he's not really into any kind of woo thing. Mm-hmm. After we did the ball, he said, "What? This is the craziest thing I have ever done. I don't know what the hell did you do, but I don't crave it anymore."
I would love to get him on a testimonial.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. Wow, that's great.
Yeah. And I still don't crave ice cream. I eat it once in a while, and I even enjoyed it a couple of times, but it's been a year. I don't have the urgency, but that was the problem for me. It's like I would think about ice cream, a particular brand and flavor, I would have to go get it. It'd be like I would go through 3 different stores to get it. But now I was like, sometimes I just go look at it and I stay in front of it, and it's like, well, I don't want it.
That's great. Marina, we need video testimonials so we can share that.
I know. One of those days.
Awesome.
Well, there's another one I did for myself. My thing is cheese, this dairy business. So I just did not want to do all cheese because I can't yet just get to the point of not eating cheese. But brie and baguette was the thing for me. And so I did that specifically for the brie and baguette. And I can tell you, I have no desire for that. I was actually at a friend's house, and that's what she usually serves. I had no desire for it. It's really amazing.
Wow, that's great.
Yep.
Well, God, I love it. Thank you for sharing. That helps people. We only have 10 minutes to go, and I committed to try and keep these at 1 hour. So I see Marina, any questions or anything I can help with?
I don't know. Yesterday was the first time that I tried the small beach ball. I have to say, I didn't feel as comfortable because it kind of was sliding out of my hands.
Okay.
I prefer, I think, the soccer ball.
Okay.
I don't know if I have any questions yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Marina. Thank you so much for sharing. It really helps people. Thank you.
Bill, Marina said she might be coming to see us in San Diego. And so, Elizabeth, that would be fun. It would be like old home week for all of us.
I love that.
It'd be like a reunion from last year. So that would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
I would love that.
We
Nancy.
have Nancy. Yeah. There you go.
Nancy, I tried to, yeah, there we go. I've unmuted you, Nancy. Or are you still there? Let's see.
No, I think you scared her off, Bill. We may have just lost her. Maybe she'll log back on.
You know what? She was probably trying to unmute herself, and then she
hung up. Yeah.
probably accidentally hung up. Okay, so let's see here. I think we've hit everybody.
Bill, I actually have a little story I wanted to share with,
Okay.
yeah, so Bill knows this one, but I had a couple of kids in my office the other week. They actually share the office building here. And one of them had just an issue with not wanting to do something he needed to do, but didn't want to do. And I thought it was a really interesting, almost challenge in the way, being in the research and development mode in my brain here. And so I asked him if he wanted to come in and do the ball. And we did, some of the new techniques that we're working on. But it was interesting because it was just moving and it was about packing. And he had one other thing to do with it. And I found that it was interesting that we could change his state so quickly with the Cognomovement that his face changed, his eyes were glittering, he had a nice color than a red, harsh color in his cheeks. And when we were done, just a few minutes, he said, I don't have an issue at all, just go home and do it right now. I can go, I don't. When before that, he was just dragging his feet, he was suffering. It was interesting because it was just packing and he didn't want to move. But when we asked just a few more questions, and this is the part of being the practitioner, learning the modality, learning how to meet these protocols and ask the right questions so that you can use the ball on exactly the right thing. That's what we did. It turns out, his heart was hurting because he was moving from a place that he loved. And that's the reason he was dragging his feet. And once we cleared it, he was able to no longer be hurting, but also just get the job done. So I thought that was really interesting.
That is awesome. I'll share a story from this weekend, which I thought was pretty incredible. So I had someone come and see me who had lifelong suffering from kind of they call it asthma, but really kind of is a tightening down here behind the thyroid of the throat, and is kind of like a smoker, like that's how they breathed, but they weren't a smoker. But that's when they would breathe, you can hear it, and it hurt. Anyway, we focused on that feeling there in the chest, and we just focused on that and did Cognomovement, and it eased up. That whole area stopped hurting and didn't feel so constricted, and you could really hear it in her voice. I mean, in her breathing. What we ended up focusing on, which ended up taking it away, was this particular person had worked very young in the very hot agriculture. Right, they were in agriculture and picking fruits and vegetables and that sort of thing. But it was very oppressive, very extremely hot environment with a lot of, obviously, you know, all the agriculture stuff around, you know, bushes and plants and whatever. Anyway, just go back to that time and really feel that and how that was back in that time. And we did Cognomovement for that and that feeling, and poof, it was like breathing, like it was really an amazing thing. So to Liz's point, hitting on the correct thing and focusing on that is it really takes your practice a lot further. Anyway, that is this puts us at 56 after. Any last questions, comments, anything from anyone that I can answer? No? Okay. So I'm hoping in not too distant future, we'll have some more information. We're working on some breakthroughs right now, like I've alluded to, and I'm looking forward to telling you about that. For the time being, try shortening up your Cognomovement sessions to 3 minutes or so, and see how that goes for you. More sessions for less duration. That's latest kind of discovery.
So Bill, I just want to jump in and let everybody know the dates are that there is an online class happening again, which is just 2 to 2.5 hour sessions for 3 weeks, starting July 14. And then in September, it's 3 full days in San Diego, California, live with Bill, where we're going to do practitioner level 1. We're going to be able to dig just a little bit deeper into that than we are on the phone because we'll have more time. More practice, one-on-one time with each other, with the practitioners who join, and also like we did last year, we'll have people in from the community to practice on too. So that's a real benefit of having that live. The other thing is Bill's going to teach some more Secrets of the Masters in the live seminar in San Diego, which is super fun, as Marina and Elizabeth can attest to. If you have attended that event before, Marina and Elizabeth, there's a 50% off for you. Contact me directly. Our practitioners from practitioner level 1, also we are extending that discount as well. So that's just the housekeeping, and I'm going to pass it back to you, Bill.
Okay, and anyone also, if you've already been through the online training for level 1 and you'd like to attend again on the 14th, you're welcome to do that at no charge. So any existing practitioners can actually attend that the online and get a repeat at no charge. So anyway, very excited. My door is always open to all of you. Just email me or let me know how I can help you practitioners, or if you have any other questions, please reach out. Let me know anything I can do to help. Thank you all. Thank you, Liz, for putting this together. And go out there and help somebody. Share your Cognomovement and help somebody with their smoking or something really good. All right? Thank you all. Take care.
Night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you.
Heather.
Bye.
Bye, Nina.